Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for your starting player number one, Mr.
Multiplayer Online Battle Arena. Good evening, everyone. I am beginning to believe Moon Studios has a ton of ambition and they're not giving away any spoilers. They've got a ton of content planned and all we can do is speculate. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm about to speculate my top modes that I would love to see in No Rest for the Wicked. Let's get it. Game mode number 1, Tower Defense. Imagine waves of enemies from the Pestilence slowly making their way to Sacrament with the sole mission to breach the walls and enter the city. You can take down enemies, you can gain resources, use those resources to upgrade your fortifications and defense systems. Imagine different tiers of archer towers, spike walls, mangonels that launch boulders, buckets of acid at the tops, the gates, digging trenches and moats, crossbow emplacements. The possibilities are endless. You can tie this into the main core experience as well, where you bring your own resources to the tower defense, or maybe even craft your defenses prior to starting the tower defense run. Game mode number 2, Horde Mode. Waves of enemies where at a certain level threshold you fight a boss. Fight 5 waves, a boss comes. Maybe it's 10 waves. Doesn't matter. They get harder and harder. See how far you can get. It's similar to tower defense, but the enemies are targeting you rather than Sacrament. You can build fortifications and level up your character between rounds. There's like a 30-second countdown after each round that you can use to upgrade everything and see how far you can get. Possibilities endless. Game mode number 3, Multiplayer Online Battle Arena. That's right, you heard it here first. A MOBA mode. 3 lanes, 1 jungle. I mean, does it get any better than that? MOBAs started as the click-to-move real-time strategy Warcraft 3 games mod. It became what we know now as Dota 2. Then there was League of Legends. I mean, Deadlock is a new third-person shooter MOBA. It's an amazing game. With the new class system that they are adding, this is very possible. Imagine a 5v5 or a 6v6 where you pick your role in a draft system prior to the match. You work as a team, push back the enemy lanes, you defeat creeps, enemy players, towers in a tug of war until you ultimately take down the enemy's base. There are plenty of enemy types for the jungle camps, and the creeps could be low-level risen. This could be amazing. The Baron or Roshan could be any boss in the game. The Riven twins, for example. Everyone starts on the same playing field, whether on your first run as a class or your 50th. You know, let's say you play as the Barbarian and you've mastered all the weapons. It doesn't matter because when you start in the MOBA, everyone starts at level 1. The more you die, the longer your spawn timer gets, and you kill creeps, camps, towers, other players. You get coin or gold or whatever the currency is. You purchase gear, you get stronger, and you become that true carry. This could be a great way to even try out the new classes and skills. Maybe you can even get a little XP in this mode. I could see people exclusively playing this mode, especially with how good this combat feels. And besting another team in a MOBA is the feeling is on a whole nother level. Say it with me. A whole nother level. How do you like this list so far? Let me know in the comments if you think I'm cooking or if you got better ideas. Game mode number 4, a real city builder. I'm not talking about what they have now. What they have now is great. I'm talking about where you can build structures from the ground up. I want to visualize my floor plan and build it brick by brick. If I want to build a 20-room castle with a cock-shaped garden in the middle that has a fountain at the tip that sprays off into my melons, that are from my Stardew Valley farm mode that they are adding, then I can do it. Maybe even have multiple houses and an entire city. Doesn't even have to be Sacrament. It could be something else, off to the side where I just have an entire ecosystem with buildings and farms and people with different jobs and all sorts of stuff. I mean, it could be a lot of fun. Game mode number 5, raids with multiple bosses. Queue up with 10 or even 20 people and fight mobs of enemies together until you make your way to the boss. After you kill the first boss, you fight your way to the second, and so forth until you have beaten a handful of bosses. Now you face the final boss. Each boss has different mechanics and awards you loot you cannot find anywhere else. Test your build and test your skills. Game mode number 6, Conquest mode. Capture different areas, gain points per second from each area your team controls, get points from defeating enemies as well. Bring your own build and mastery into this one. It could be like a battlefield where it's your team versus another, or it could be like For Honor where it's your team versus another, but there's also trash mobs in the middle as well. Kind of like a King of the Hill mode. Could be a lot of fun. Lucky number 7, Attack and Defense is the game mode. One team holds Sacrament, the other attacks. The attackers have a finite amount of lives, and the win condition is to break in and destroy a statue. Maybe it's to kidnap Odessa. The defense's win condition is to hold out long enough to bring the enemy's life counts to 0 or to win by time expiration. You could also tie in resource gathering from the core game, maybe even crafting. Imagine crafting siege weapons and defensive emplacements before you even come into the attack and defense mode. I mean, this could be so sick. Moon Studios is really opening Pandora's box with this one. They are not confining this game to a single niche. I watched Aaron at Action ARPG's interview with Thomas Mahler. I also watched the podcast style conversation between Chris Wilson and Thomas Mahler, and I am truly excited for the future of this game. Thank you all for watching. Really appreciate it. And remember, get better every day, even if it's a little ugly. Gigs out. Honorable mention, it's the dad mode. Core game is exactly the same, but you add a fucking pause button.
Oh man, thanks.